Good morning, welcome to the Daily News Podcast. Today is July 29th, 2026.
The big story this morning is the Middle East, where Iran and the United States have resumed direct strikes after a short lull. Reports say ballistic missiles were intercepted, Jordan was pulled into the fallout, and the risk now is that this stops looking like contained retaliation and starts looking like a broader regional war. At the same time, President Trump hosted Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House for a record 7th visit, underscoring just how tightly Washington and Jerusalem are coordinating as this crisis widens. There are also reports that the U.S. and Saudi Arabia carried out strikes on Iran-backed groups in Iraq, which opens yet another front. For markets, diplomacy, and regional security, this is the story driving everything today.
And that's the part that really stands out. Every limited move now seems to create a new pressure point. When Jordan, Iraq, Israel, Iran, and the U.S. are all in the same chain of events, the margin for error gets very small. Right, moving to markets, investors are getting nervous about the price tag of the AI boom. Wall Street finished mixed, with the Dow up but the Nasdaq lower, as traders brace for major tech earnings and ask a harder question: are these enormous AI investments actually paying off fast enough? In credit markets, default insurance costs have risen for the big hyperscalers like Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, and Oracle, which tells you bond investors are starting to worry about balance sheets, not just growth stories. Add in reports that banks are trimming exposure to data center lending, and there's a clear theme here: AI is still the future, but financing that future is getting more expensive and a lot less automatic. Oil also jumped after reports of an attack on a U.S. base in Jordan, adding a geopolitical risk premium back into the inflation picture.
That's a real shift in tone. For the last year, AI spending was treated almost like a free pass, and now investors want proof, not just promises. On the tech and policy side, Washington is hardening its line on China again, this time with a move to block new Chinese humanoid robots and foreign-made advanced power inverters. The administration says it's about national security and infrastructure resilience, but the broader message is that strategic competition with Beijing is now extending deeper into robotics, energy hardware, and industrial tech. At the same time, China is putting fresh pressure on Taiwan with new maritime patrols that analysts say blur the line between routine enforcement and blockade-style intimidation. So you've got two parallel stories here. The U.S. is trying to wall off sensitive technology at home, while China is raising pressure abroad in one of the world's most sensitive flashpoints.
And both stories point to the same trend: less separation between trade policy, security policy, and tech policy. Those are basically the same conversation now. In science, there's one genuinely hopeful headline today. Researchers say a new HIV vaccine candidate has shown unprecedented success in a preclinical study. It's early, and that matters, because preclinical success does not guarantee human results. But even so, this is being treated as one of the most significant vaccine developments in years, because HIV has been one of the hardest targets in modern medicine. If the results hold up in trials, the long-term public health impact could be enormous. Also in research and infrastructure, the largest U.S. power grid is reportedly weighing temporary power cuts for data centers to avoid blackouts, which is a reminder that the AI build-out isn't just a software story anymore. It's an electricity story too.
That contrast is striking. One breakthrough that could change global health, and one warning that the digital economy may be outgrowing the grid built to support it. And to wrap up, a couple of quick culture and internet notes. YouTube Premium will add Peacock access in the U.S. at no extra cost starting in early 2027, which is a big bundling move in streaming and could reshape how subscription platforms compete for viewers. And one of the most talked about Reddit stories today is Finland building what's being called the world's largest sand battery, designed for low-cost, long-duration energy storage. It sounds strange, but that's exactly why people are paying attention. Cheap, scalable storage is one of those ideas that can go from quirky to hugely important very fast.
That's it for this morning. Thanks for listening.
We'll be back tomorrow with the stories you need to know. Have a great day.